Well, good morning. It is BOGO. I want to say Monday, but it's BOGO Tuesday. It's day one of our actual BOGOs that we have, where each day there is a featured oil. I'm getting some weird little feedback noise, so I'm going to see what that is. Let me see here. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, there we go. So today we have our BOGO special of the day, which is where you buy one oil. And today, being amazing, awesome, and incredible, you get two for free. Not one, but two. In addition to that, we still have the BOGO box. So this is like the beyond awesome day. This is the day where you can get everything that we were so fired up about yesterday, and then add an additional deep blue. And if you are someone who deals with pain or works out or just lives and every once in a while pushes themselves too far, you are going to be set up. I am just so fired up. I can't believe that we have the BOGO box available at the same time as a buy one, get two. Usually a buy one, get two is at the end of the week and the BOGO box is no longer available. But because it is available, you can super power up an order today and really take advantage of this special. So first things first, get some news out of the way. Today is July 20th, 2021. This deal that we are about to talk about is only available until 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time, USA. Okay. There are other markets where this is available. I can find that out for you. I just had a whole list in front of me a little bit ago. I know that Canada is involved, as well as basically our entire American market. But reach out if you're concerned. Like, let's say you're, in Europe and you want to know if you're able to get this, reach out to us and we will hook you up with that information as soon as possible. So 11:59 tonight, know that. However, the information that we are going to share, if you happen to be watching this in replay and it is now, August 27th, is still amazingly helpful. So we're really going to have a conversation today about resources for pain and discomfort, right? Okay, so first things first, you're going to buy a Deep Blue 5 mil. And with that, you are going to get for free a 15 mil Lemongrass and a 15 mil Cypress. And you are going to be a very, very comfortable, relaxed person, especially if you got the BOGO box, because there's also some aroma touch in there. So anyhow, I'm going to throw it out there. Let's talk about some Deep Blue for a little bit. We did touch on it yesterday, but let's really talk about Deep Blue, this blend, and why this is one of the most recognized doTERRA products on the market. How come it is a go-to for so many people? Romelia, you're an exerciser. Joan, you're an exerciser. And now Leslie's an exerciser. Diane and I like to hang out and, have some iced tea. We wave, we cheer you on, but we have aspirations, but we do still have pain. So we will talk about our versions. But for exercising, what are you guys doing with the Deep Blue?
I like to put it on before I head out. I like to use Deep Blue on my calves, especially. I have a lot of cramping back there. I have some really high arches, so it's really yummy on my feet too. And I carry it with me. I have this little blend that I carry with me when I'm, doing a really long run, or and a little packet of Deep Blue Rub, which is, another form of Deep Blue. So those kind of give me a lot of support on the track, on the pavement, whatever. And I follow up always by just adding more Deep Blue everywhere. My hips when I'm driving long distances, I'm planning a road trip tomorrow morning. So I'm getting myself psyched up and ready for that and outlining all of the things that I need to take. And definitely our Deep Blue. I love this. I love this oil. It fluctuates as my number one with our beautiful blend that's exclusive. And I think it just depends on the season I'm in. And right now I'm definitely in a Deep Blue season because we're moving out and about more and the weather's warmer and, you can just get out and do all kinds of fun, active things out there, play tennis and go for walks, take those pups out. So definitely a Deep Blue season for me. I just love it. I give this oil so much credit for being able to run again. It's amazing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
You kind of glaze over the being able to run again. I'm just going to throw out there. I've known Romelia. I don't know Romelia. What's it been like 7 years, probably in that range. When I met you,
Wow.
shortly after I met you, you started wearing a leg brace,
Right.
a knee brace. And it didn't matter, not running. I'm talking just
just everyday movement. Right.
Every single day. You were wearing a full brace.
I'm wearing my shirt of the last half marathon I ran before I injured my knee. And this was back in 2014. And it was that fall that I injured one knee, and this spring I got better and I injured it again. And then after that time, I was just in a brace so that I can function. And then in 2016, that was our very first cross-country road trip. And I just remember the 2 huge bottles of ibuprofen that I took with me. So I had, we were going to be on the road for about 3 weeks and just visiting and seeing all of these wonderful sights. And I didn't want to miss out. And I didn't want to be the one to say, I just can't go out today. But I wore that brace and I took that stuff, and it was, I put on a smiley face, but it was painful the whole time. And then shortly after, that's when I was introduced to Deep Blue. And I'm like, oh, well, let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. It can't hurt. I had already seen what, the oils did for my son. So this definitely couldn't hurt. And just within a month, I lost a brace that I had been wearing for almost 2 years nonstop, day in, day out. And then just maybe a few months after that, I really put it in my head that, okay, I really need to start running again for my sanity. That's my therapy. And just worked my way up to that. And this oil changed everything. It was just, that's why it fluctuates as my number one with Beautiful. Beautiful just makes me feel good. But Deep Blue makes me walk good. If that makes any sense. But yeah, it was the one that just really just set in my head that anything is possible with these oils. We can do just about anything with these oils. I don't walk with a brace. I run. I've done a couple of marathons after that.
That's the thing that I find amazing, is that it's not just the matter of, okay, I was in what you kind of thought as your forever now ibuprofen
absolutely
a brace. It was a victory. It would have been a victory just to get out of that. But to then be able to take it to the level where you're now able to run, not me walk like really fast, run again. That's life-changing. That changes the trajectory of your life. Imagine your mobility story, because you're young. A mobility story of anyone who's having mobility issues in their 40s is a problem. Because by the time you're later in life, it just impacts all of everything else in your body. The fact that you changed the trajectory of that whole story with Deep Blue is, I just love it. It's so much more for people than just that moment of, yay, it doesn't hurt. It really changes the whole trajectory of your story, and the repercussions of chronic pain.
And and it says a lot to the oils that were chosen for this blend. This blend has 8 oils in there. 2 of them one of them we can purchase on its own, helichrysum, and the other one we cannot, which is that osmanthus. Both of those have those deep tissue healing properties. I mean, that's what they're really geared for, is to repair tissue. And that's how you will see them marketed in certain products, is to repair that tissue. Yeah, they're great for inflammation, but they're really working at that, that cellular level of just having the body recognize what needs to be fixed and what needs to not be fixed. And it just focuses on that and replicates that. And I give it all up to those 2 oils. Yeah, the rest of them are great for pain, for inflammation, for those kind of things. But those 2 specifically, the more I learned about them, that's what made me believe that anything is possible. Because those just go deep. We're taking care of those symptoms, that topical, discomfort, and even that deep bone discomfort sometimes. But with these two oils, man, we're taking care of the source. And yeah, that's why Deep Blue is one of those that I just, you got some issues, you need to try this, because it really is life-changing.
Absolutely. So, Joan, you started exercising more and more in the last year, right? And
Yeah.
I always find this interesting because, Leslie, your story is very similar, and my husband's story is similar. And as much as I don't want to sound like, oh, it's doTERRA, there is an aspect of, at least I've seen it with my husband, where between the lifelong vitality and tools like Deep Blue, he started to have a different vision of the possibilities for his exercise and a different vision of, it's not too late. I can do it. I can slowly increase and work through it. Confidence. There was just, it changed his confidence. Never have I ever known this man to be someone who would consider a triathlon. And he was supposed to do his first triathlon in 2020. And of course it was canceled, but he's super fired up to get back out there and try again. Is he going to win? No, but he has the confidence to do it. And that's huge. So you guys have both changed your Joan, you've always been an active person, but you have upped the ante this year.
I have seriously upped the ante this year. And that was a decision I made. I set the intention in January that I was going to be as healthy as possible when I turned 60 in October. And part of that, is some of it is, dietary changes, but a lot of it is the exercise changes. And so, I'd been on my rowing machine a lot and walking and increasing those things. And then this spring, I'm working my way through the Couch to 5K training program, right? So for me to say, it was interesting. I put a post this morning in a exercise group I'm in, and I said, my morning run, right? And even like 6 months ago, for me to say those words, I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. It's not me, right? Because I have, I tried running once back when I was in college and I got shin splints, and I was really just like, I thought, why do people do this? This is awful, right? Mm-hmm. And so I never went back to it. And now I'm back to it, doing it appropriately, slowly building up. But I will tell you, I had Deep Blue on this morning before my run and after my shower. And it's on my knees, my shins, my calves, and it gets all rubbed in there, and it gets topped with Deep Blue rub. I love that idea, Romelia, as I start to go further distances, to put a little packet of the rub in my shorts. So I will take that from you and do that. But yeah, I mean, it's allowed me to explore running, and I enjoy it. And again, something I never would have thought possible before. And now I do, and I'm having fun, and it's beautiful out in the morning, early morning, and along the trails, and I stick to trails and off the streets, and it's lovely. And Deep Blue has truly helped with that. Absolutely.
Well, welcome to the dark side.
I know.
Not only do we have cookies, but we have some crazy psycho people that run 26 miles for fun.
I know.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, maybe one of these days.
That's awesome. I'm going to throw this tip out there only because I've heard it so many times, and you mentioned that, but I've heard if you're really having some deep pain or real discomfort, like swelling issues even, putting that Deep Blue on and then getting in the shower, because the water forces that oil. Leslie, go ahead. You had something like that recently, right?
Absolutely. I have a couple of things about the Deep Blue. First and foremost, the wonderful thing about it is that it doesn't mask the pain. It helps take the pain away, but it doesn't mask the pain where you continually work on that muscle and you end up injuring it more because you don't feel it. So that's a really wonderful thing. But Deep Blue, oh my gosh, on my upper back and my lower back, I'd rub it in, and then put it in the Epsom salts. So I have a wonderful little combination of Deep Blue, buy it today, with lemongrass. Oh my gosh, we get that for free today. Plus copaiba and marjoram. And then soak in that for about 20 minutes. And it is so soothing and wonderful. And if you don't have time for the Epsom salt bath, then I just put a couple drops in my hand and rub it on before I go into the shower. And then the warmth of the shower, it's wonderful how it just pushes it in, and it just is very, very soothing. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's amazing. I think I love, at this point, it's great just to have Deep Blue, but the fact that we're also going to get Lemongrass and Cypress for free is awesome. I'm ready to jump to them, but first I want to run over to Miss Diana, because even though it's not really the featured thing about Deep Blue that people talk about all the time, there are wonderful emotional benefits to Deep Blue. Diana, what information can you share with us on how we can use it to support ourselves in that way?
Yeah, Deep Blue is the oil of surrendering pain. So even though you use it for your physical, and it affects you really, well with that, you can also use it to support something that you're avoiding, something that you're resisting, that's painful, and you can feel, yourself understanding that you can embrace that lesson. Whatever that pain is, you learn from it, you grow from it, and you're able to just feel strengthened with the Deep Blue. And you can use that in the diffuser, or you can inhale it from the bottle. This is aromatic. The effect is aromatic, so it's not topical necessarily, unless you're using it on your limbs or whatever, for this purpose. And you can just really feel that healing begin inside of you, because this helps you to unlock that process.
I have a question around that, Diana. If someone is dealing with some pain, emotional pain from a surgery or an injury or something, would applying the Deep Blue topically to those areas be helpful? That sounds like something
Yes,
that would work well.
Yeah, actually, a lot of that cycle that we deal with when we have a chronic or a traumatic situation that has to do with the pain, and it's in the physical, but it goes into the emotional, right? We begin to fear it, and we begin to kind of like prime our bodies into this situation where we're just in turmoil over the possibility of it happening again, or the possibility of us getting debilitated in some way and unable to do what we need to do again. And so being able to apply this to soothe that just really does support your mind to also begin to feel cool, collected, face it, without that, like having that mental clarity, without having your judgment clouded for that, with that fear, with that overwhelm, that overload. So yes, it affects you in both ways when you use it, and it's so amazing to have this as a tool that you can, it's just always deeper than what you expect. So the Deep Blue does go deeper.
Hence the name, right? Just to throw out a little bit of business points out there for you guys. Deep Blue is not for internal use. It is for aromatic and topical use. I love that this is a 5 ml, so you can use it easily in your diffuser. It is gorgeous. It changes aromatically. It opens up in a different way. It kind of tells a very different story. And I absolutely feel that it's such a wonderful thing. Like you're saying, like it releases you almost from the fear of pain, right? Which when we anticipate, we become defensive and we shut down, and walls, we're all kind of feeling a lot of that, right? A lot of anticipation of stress and anxiety, and that can be worse than the actual stress and anxiety. So I also want to share what's in it really quickly before we move on. This is a blend. In it, we have our amazing wintergreen. We have camphor, peppermint, ylang-ylang, blue tansy, some German chamomile, helichrysum, and like Romelia said, let this clouds part. Here's my little sunshine bubble over here. Osmanthus. So osmanthus is an incredible, it's funny to me, Romelia, that both beautiful and deep blue are such a powerhouse for you, and both are so osmanthus forward, right?
I thought about that too.
Yeah, I know. If they
ever can move into that direction and just make my life complete with an osmanthus oil, absolute touch, whatever you want to do, you have my permission to move on it. Just get it out there.
If they ever came out, I feel like it would be almost like transcending to another level if they just had osmanthus that I could add to absolutely everything. It is incredible, but it is harder to come by. So that's why you only find it in these blends. But for the sake of time, let's move on to our friend lemongrass and see and share a little bit about our experience with lemongrass. I always think, first off, it smells amazing. It tastes incredible, but I always think ligaments lemongrass, right? And everybody's laughing. Yes, it right. Lemongrass is a part of a blend that we call it with, tongue in cheek, sort of, our liquid morphine, right? And it's sort of like a joke to the idea that it's a wonderful painkiller. And this recipe is marjoram, lemongrass. There's some variations after this point, but I like to do copaiba and frankincense in there, all of which are safe to use internally, all of which are incredibly helpful. And in that recipe, the lemongrass plays the role of supporting ligaments and that type of stress and pain. But beyond that, I'm going to throw it out to you guys. What do we have on our love of lemongrass? Although I know Joan's got recipes. So what do you guys got?
So it's pretty much always in my morning breakfast bowl salad dressing, which I'm eating right here.
Now you have to share the recipe.
But, so it is basically, for that recipe, I use a high quality flax oil because that's a really high quality essential fatty acid. And for the women on here, flax is very good for breast health. Just let you know that. And so I use flax oil and then a few splashes of essential aminos, and then a couple of drops of lemongrass and a drop of pink pepper. And that's my little salad dressing blend that I use on my breakfast bowl. It's great. I also will use lemongrass sort of randomly in cooking. It's great in any sort of Asian cooking, anything like that, a stir fry, rice dishes, anything that you can add it to. So I sort of use it equally in terms of internally in food, as well as in that blend that Carrie just mentioned, the marjoram, lemongrass, frankincense, and copaiba. I have in a roller ball, and that goes on all my joints that I have issues with: knees, ankles, wrists. I'll get that roller ball regularly. So it's just good so many ways. I love lemongrass. I seriously stocked up on it. I maxed out on it when it was on sale recently. Remember when it was on sale? And so I picked up a bunch, and I'm delighted to be getting more now during the BOGO because I use it all the time.
It's so versatile because it is usable aromatically, topically, and internally. And so while we have all of these emotional benefits, all of these physical benefits, all of these sort of overall therapeutic benefits, it allows us so much play. And so we go through a lot of lemongrass at our house too, for sure. It's one that has really come into my life even more prominently in the last couple years, the last 2 years. I was not on my radar when I first got started, beyond just the idea that, yay, lemongrass, I love the smell, But man, the more I learn about it, it's just absolutely awesome. So anyone else have something great to share, or even, fun to share? Yeah, go ahead, Leslie.
To go on top of the joint rollerball, what I also add to that is Aroma Touch, which is one of the oils in our BOGO box. So yeah, and then I always think of lemongrass. I made a Thai butternut squash soup with the lemongrass, and my older daughter was eating it, and she was like, "Mom, if doTERRA had a flavor, this is what it would taste like." And I'm like, well, interesting that you say that, because there is lemongrass in there. And she's like, oh, of course there is. Of course there is. So
I love that. If doTERRA had a flavor, can you just make that recipe, bottle it, and just ode to doTERRA?
right.
I love that. I love that. Anyone else on lemongrass? Diane, I'm sure you've got some great information for us over there on the emotional aspect.
I do. In fact, but I also have to say that I like lemongrass in all my like room sprays, and especially in, like cleansing things, it just adds a certain oomph, I think, to every blend, in terms of like helping it just like balance the whole like scent of it. I don't know. I'm addicted to lemongrass, I have to say. So, but lemongrass is also the oil of cleansing. So it's an energetic cleanser. It's really powerful to help you to cleanse out those negative feelings. So using it in the diffuser, getting that negativity, that limiting belief to kind of head out the door and just forget about it when you're trying to, embark on a new venture, or you're trying to create something, or move in a direction, and you just are running into that energetic stuff that's holding you back. You just grab your lemongrass and you put it on, and you can really use it in so many ways, because we end up getting into these habits where we keep going with certain toxic, thoughts and certain toxic people in our lives. And we really need to be able to move out of that and add to flow, which is why, the other oil of today is amazing too. And really, really, get back into flow is going to be great. So we'll talk about that when that comes up. But yeah, lemongrass is amazing.
I think that, it's so versatile. Like we were saying, I like that idea of, I'm excited to hear more about, it's interesting, I know I'm jumping about, but doTERRA always puts together these BOGOs. And by midweek, we all start recognizing, this is correlating directly to what is happening in the world today and the needs of the world today. And I'm excited to hear about how Deep Blue and Lemongrass, and what you're going to share with us about Cypress, fit so perfectly into this sort of reemergence aspect, anticipation and concern about, or just being uncomfortable. And the emotional side, which is not what we tend to focus on so much. If you looked at these three oils together, of course, we all think pain, exercise, go, go, go. But when you look at the emotional side and where we are in our world today, wow, what a blessing to be able to get them at such a great discount, right? I do want to share a quick recipe here for joint injuries. If you have lemongrass in your life, which you will after today, apply neat on location or reflex points on the feet. To manage on the area, combine 5 to 10 drops of lemongrass with 1 tablespoon of fractionated coconut oil and rub in. You can also apply it to a warm compress. So put it on and you can either put it on a warm compress or you can put it on your body and then apply a warm compress. This is kind of similar to what we were talking about with like a shower or a bath, where it's going to help push the oil in and you get a higher level impact of it really going in. Whenever we're talking about these pain oil, by the way, when you're using them topically, here's the thing that you're not going to expect. You want to use a carrier oil. You want to use like a fractionated coconut oil, because what it's going to do is it's going to not allow those oils to flash off the way that they do, because they're naturally volatile. They want to, turn from a liquid to a gas as soon as they're out in the air. If you lock them into a fractionated coconut oil or whatever your choice is, it's going to sort of hold them and allow them to work and penetrate over time, which we all know with pain, we don't want it quick. I mean, we want the relief quick, but then we want it to stay and last long. So just a couple notes on that. Anyone else on lemongrass before we go on to Cypress?
Well, just
we're all happy.
Just a quick note, because this speaks to the versatility of our oils. You're going to get those oils today for pain, but you're going to find out, just like Joan and Leslie have shared, that it makes it. Our oils are awesome in the kitchen, right? And I have to echo Diana. One of my favorites that I've been using lately in our DIY hand wash has been lemongrass, because it just smells so lovely as you're washing. But lemongrass is also a great insect repellent. So not only is it going to help you with keeping that pain at bay while you're out and about running, I encourage you all to get out and move something a day, but it's also going to keep the bugs off of you. But that's just our oils. They're so versatile. You can use them in so many different ways to meet whatever need you have. I just love that. And it just smells good.
So we have a comment coming in from one of our Facebook friends, and they are sharing here, I'm growing lemongrass. Yes. Do you know, I saw this comment and I'm like, I have to just jump in. A quick little, when we were in Guatemala, we were really focused on cardamom, which was our goal and our whole purpose of being there. And one of the sort of the process of that, going from the growing, the harvesting, the drying, the distilling process, was we got to go to this artisanal, beautiful, incredible distillery that is family owned in Antigua, Guatemala, just outside of Antigua, Guatemala. And we pulled up and we step out of the car, or it was a bus, and right next to us is parked this oversized pickup truck. I don't know, you know what I mean? Bigger, like with the wood rails on the sides type situation. And it is overflowing over the top and out the back with lemongrass that had been harvested that day. And talk about, like, as soon as the little bus doors, and you walk down it was like, oh, I have goosebumps just thinking about it right now. I mean, lemongrass is gorgeous, and it is so fragrant it's not, it just, as you're growing it, it is incredible. So if you live somewhere where you can grow lemongrass, yay for you. But man, oh man. So they also distilled lemongrass essential oil there at this little, it was literally owned by a couple and their 2 small children. So that's where you're getting your cardamom from doTERRA. But it was, I mean, I've always known it would be good, but holy cow, it was just like, I wanted to hug it, but I didn't want to disturb their harvest. It was so good. It was so good. So yes. Okay. So let's move on then to our next wonderful friend, which is Cypress. I'm so excited about the Cypress. Talk about an unsung hero, right? I got to tell you, Cypress, first thoughts, urinary support, deodorant. Am I the only one? And neither of these have to do with what I didn't know, which was pain, right? And apparently Diana's going to blow our minds with the emotional aspect here. So what are some of the ways that you guys have found Cypress, besides the fact that, by the way, it smells incredible in a diffuser? Anyone have some ways that they've used Cypress or have been using Cypress in their life that they want? Go ahead.
So we've been using this Cypress for about a couple of years now, primarily for respiratory support. It is amazing, and there's so much scientific evidence that supports Cypress and respiratory health. And because we have someone here with, that needs that extra support with their respiratory system. When I first came across this, it was mind blowing. So we immediately started adding that to our diffuser, and it is part of our, like, anything that we do, DIY, roller balls, balms, whatever, there's always Cypress in there, because it's, it just keeps things moving. It's great for circulation, which is why it makes a beautiful oil with this for pain support. It's great for circulation. You get that blood moving in there. You have less, soreness, less pain, less inflammation. So yeah, Cypress for me has always, since we discovered it, those other pieces of being an antiperspirant, those are just bonuses, really. And pain is just a bonus, because for us in this house, it's definitely respiratory support, and it's beautiful in the diffuser. And it wasn't until one of Diana's classes that I came about that whole other piece with it. So it's also part of my, plan on Sunday night, get things going kind of thing, or create some content for all of these things that you're doing blend, because it just really does keep those ideas and creativity flowing up there. I love Cypress. It's my favorite of the trees. It really is. It's my favorite of the trees.
Yeah. Ooh, that's saying a lot right there.
Next to that Hinoki one, which I can't get, so that's not in the running. So Cypress is definitely my favorite of the trees.
I love it. That's a throwdown moment there. You're going, all right, we got to have Battle of the Trees coming out to you guys. We actually do have a great whole video that we did on the benefits of trees. And so go check that out on our YouTube channel. But yeah, I feel like it's one of those that you just don't realize all of the energetic benefits of it, the focus benefits of it, until you start using it and you're like, man, here's what happens. You become drawn to it, right? Some general uses that are just sort of fun but let's be real. If you're a sweaty person and you sweat a lot, that's not an anecdotal use. That's like needed. Come on, I'm wet all the time and people think I'm gross, and I'm not gross. I'm lovely. I just sweat a lot. But we don't want to use antiperspirants necessarily because of the fact that typically they're used to block, ducts, and they aren't necessarily supporting the body's function of that. They're sort of blocking that function. Cypress is a wonderful natural antiperspirant, and if you have that issue, it matters. Works great on feet. And Susan, who's not here today, she had an appointment, would share with us, thank you, Diana, for reminding me that it's great for swelling, right? In the same way that it's a diuretic, right? Isn't it? It's like a natural diuretic. In the same way that it's so helpful for bladder health and overall body health in that way. Swelling. So Romelia, when you're heading out on that long road trip, if you're like me, and if you're sitting for long periods of time, you get out of the car and you're like, I'm walking on these water pads that are supposed to be my feet. Oh, I hate that feeling. Cypress and Deep Blue together. Rub that on your feet before you get in the car.
It's actually one of the oils in my rollerball. You guys already know how I address things, right? I throw everything at it. I'm not going to waste my time. I'm not going to waste anybody else's time. We're just going to go hardcore. So Cypress is in my little rollerball with at least, almost 10 different oils in there. And so is Lemongrass, and so is Deep Blue. I mean, they're major players in my little blend.
Yeah. Okay, Miss Diana, hit us by the way, guys, tonight, if you want to. So again, today is July 20th. Don't worry if you're on the replay. I will do my best to get a good recording of this amazing class. But Miss Diana tonight is going to walk us through ways to naturally support the idea of sort of like reemerging out of this time in life, reconnecting, and sort of redefining ourselves and focusing on what it is that we're trying to do, right? We're all kind of somewhere in that journey. And so it's going to be a great emotional support class. But Diana, what do you have for us on Cypress? Uh-oh, we lost Diana. Isn't that funny? Of course it happens right then.
Well, I will tell you that, and I can't speak to this in the way that Diana can, because she just does such a wonderful job of capturing all those emotional benefits. But it's the oil of movement. I learned that from her, and here she comes. Yay! Tell us.
Really, I gotta talk fast, right? Because it's gonna kick me out again. Cypress is the oil of motion and flow. So it helps you with your energetic flow and your can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little bit that's better. Yeah.
Okay. So Cypress is the oil of motion and flow, and when you're feeling stagnant or you're feeling like you're resisting what's happening in life, then you end up needing a little push, and Cypress helps you get that push where you're more flexible, where you're not so rigid, where you're able to stop trying to control everything and you can just adapt and flow with life. So Cypress is
amazing. I as she was saying, and she was saying that it triggered, I feel like all the tree oils kind of have this, I mean, shouldn't say all of them that are sort of coming from the needle of the tree, right? Of an evergreen tree, have this amazing way of allowing us to release all of that sort of baggage, right? And move forward, feeling stronger and feeling more confident and sort of getting rid of, I don't know, that old patterns, right? The old patterns that we fall into. And so, I mean, I'd put Cypress fir, Siberian fir, black spruce. These guys all have this an amazing, a cedar wood even, which I know is obviously a wood, right? But also has this just wonderful ability. I would suggest to anyone who has those oils, get them bumping in your diffuser these days. You will be surprised at how much it supports confidence in moving into this next chapter, right? Without the weight of what we were dealing with when this chapter began, this past chapter, and if we can't use this time as a means for growth, wow, what a waste, right? It would be so great if we could use the last year plus as a means for growth. And part of that's going to mean releasing a lot, right?
And to add to the confidence too, all three of these are very supportive to our immune health and our respiratory health. So it's not just that whole energetic and reconnecting, but it's also too grounding in our own personal health. So I just really love that. I really love the emotional piece of Cypress. It is a huge game changer for me in that whole creative realm. I'm too analytical. I'm too left brain, but this kind of helps me dive into the other side and allows me to be a little crazy on that end. In a safe place. But it really does help me with creativity.
That's big though. That's so big. Especially if you're, that's not necessarily your natural avenue, your comfort zone, right?
Exactly.
So I want to throw out, and am I missing anything on Cypress from you guys? Because I don't want to cut anyone off from a thought. We're good. I do want to throw out there business-wise, for you and how to help you save the most amount of money. Yes, you can absolutely go ahead, hop onto, the links that you find below. You can opt to buy Deep Blue retail for $44 and get the other two for free. Fine. However, it's really not the smartest way to go because you could get it at your 25% discount for $33. If you really want to up the ante and make the best choice, I got to tell you, as long as that BOGO box is available, it's the way to go. Because if you don't have an account, a 25% off account set up already, you're going to either have to buy another little collection or pay the $35. You won't have to do that with the BOGO box. All of that is absolutely included plus you're going to get $50 back in doTERRA dollars. So your spending comes, this is how my carry math works, right? My spending then goes to 120, right? Because I'm getting, I'm going to be able to get more of the products that I'm looking for because of the fact that I got $50 more now to spend, right? You'll have that within 10 days. Plus, you're going to get the welcome package. And our welcome package is amazing and does include some literature to support you, as well as other things that we will leave for you. If you just want to know what that welcome package includes, reach out to us via email. You can see our names. Actually, are our names not on our little things anymore up here? I'm not seeing them. Normally they were, but they kind of vanished. Interesting. I will add those down into the description below for you all, though, so that you have them. Why would they? Oh, you know why? Here's why. Let's see if this makes a difference. Ha-ha!
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
There are your email addresses to reach out to any of us that our game, our thing, our whole vibe is work with the person who you relate to the most. Okay? Because that's going to be the person who you feel most comfortable talking with, because you will work with this person to help you to find the best avenue for you. But that BOGO box, you guys, as long as she's out there, there's just no better way to go. I even looked at it. I was like, well, what if we, if somebody who wanted this deal today, but wanted the discount, went ahead and did, the membership and then bought the deep blue oil, right, to get that deal. You're still, in the high 70s, $80s, plus you're paying shipping, because you're not on, any other way. And so plus tax and stuff, you're dancing up near the $100 range. But if you could get 12 oils, yes, it is 170, which I know is elite, but you're getting the 50 back, which brings you back down to the 120. Like that, again, that's how carry math works, which my husband thinks is hilarious. So if you do carry math, then you get what I'm trying to say. I hate the idea of spending more per item than I have to. So if that makes sense, like I'm going to get 12 oils, which works out to, well, we'll get into that, but it works out as the price of 5 at the very most, but it has been argued that it ends up being the price of 4 based on some things that we think are coming down the road. And that $50 back plus the welcome package. Yeah, I would hate, but if that's what you want to do, we are here. We won't push you. We'll just say, not a problem. This is what we do. Diana, Romelia, Joan, who are all still on here. If somebody reaches out to me and says they want to get started, I ask them what their goals are, and I send them multiple options for how to get started. They pick the one that suits them the best, and we maybe tweak it based on what their needs are. You know what I mean? If they say, well, I want this one, but I also want to, fine. And then that's what they do. I like to provide you with options. Then you can sit and look at it and make your decision on what works best for you and your family. So check the links that are down below in the description. If you're on replay, you are solid with us. Just kind of make sure that you're aware of the timeline and the date, because these deals are for today only. Otherwise, enjoy the education, the content, and we will see you guys tomorrow when we find out what tomorrow's BOGO is going to be.
So exciting.
Romelia, happy day.
I know, I can't take it. I just can't.
I'm so excited that we had the buy one get two today.
What a way to kick off, right? I mean, the BOGO box is just fabulous. But then to kick off those daily specials with this one, wow. Yeah. It's just, I can't wait. It's exciting.
So exciting. It's super exciting. So I still, my brain is ticking about like, what's going to be with the Immortelle, right? I mean,
I have a thought on that, but.
Well, we will find out for sure, right? So thank you all. Have a great rest of your day. If you have questions, reach out to us via email. Otherwise, we will see you all tomorrow. If you are in our Facebook group, we will be doing those prize drawings every hour today. So it's an exciting time to be hanging out with happens, right?
Yeah. They're amazing gifts yesterday. So much fun.
Oh,
gosh.
no.
And the fact that the box is
And I'm
still available, right? If you slept on it, don't sleep on it any longer. Jump on it now.
Yeah, I can't imagine how I don't even know, honestly, because we're in such a weird time. In the past, sometimes it's only lasted until the end of the day on Monday, and it will sell out before the end of the day on Monday. The fact that we still have it today is super duper exciting. I feel like people who are on the fence because they're like, I'm not comfortable buying it, not knowing what some of the other oils are feeling a lot more comfortable now that they actually know. What is it? Well, you get the tea tree because you got the box, right?
Yeah.
So you got 6, 7, 8 of the 12 oils we now know. That's a significant amount. So that should help boost your confidence in that awesome box. So, all right, have a great rest of your day. We will see you guys tomorrow for BOGO brunch. Mwah! Love ya.
Bye.